being. And I have been putting out records for years. I've been putting out records, and I had put out some songs that people consider classics, like I Used to Love Her or The Light, and I realized, you know, I knew I always felt pretty strong in my rap, pretty strong in what I was doing as an artist. But there was a certain point in my life I realized I didn't believe in myself wholeheartedly. I didn't believe. Even after records and people telling me, yo, this is a great song, you know, this one is good, man, you dope, you cool, you fresh. Like, I still didn't believe in myself. It's most important that you believe in you and believe in your path first and foremost. And I discovered that in a funny way, in a strange way. I discovered it in a relationship that I was in. I was in a relationship with Erykah Badu. Y'all know Erykah Badu? Window seat? Yeah, I know Window seat very well. Well, I was in a relationship with Erykah, and we had a breakup. And during that breakup, I was heartbroken, you know, and yeah. I know some fellas don't admit those things, but I do. I was heartbroken. And during that heartbreak, I got to discover a lot of things about myself. Because I had to examine myself when I was going through this process of heartbreak, you know, and I started realizing there was times that I was willing to play the second fiddle. Not just in that relationship, but even throughout my life, through certain friends that I had, that I was around, and I would say, you know, okay, let that person take the lead. What it really was I was willing to dim my light for other people. And I discovered that in that relationship, but it was a powerful lesson. And I started to embrace the fact that I needed to believe in myself, and I had a light to shine, and I couldn't let that light be put under the lampstand, couldn't let that light be put in the back room. I had to put my light right on top of the table, so whoever seen it could come in the room and know that the light was right there. I started no longer being afraid to wear my greatness. You can't be afraid to wear your greatness. You know, I know for myself at that time, didn't want to wear my greatness because I didn't want to offend people. I didn't want people to feel like, oh, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that. You know, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to let that light shine amongst whoever you come in contact with. You know, I have a quote from Nelson Mandela that he's used in a speech that I would like to just use to reiterate this thought process about letting your light shine. He says, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. Your playing small does not serve the world. You know, if you choose to dim your light, you're not doing a service to yourself. You're doing a disservice to the world. You're doing a disservice to God. Your light is yours to give, and it's your light. Greatness is in all of us. That light is in all of us, each and every one of us, no matter what color you are, no matter what shape of your body, no matter what your hair looks like, no matter how poor or wealthy you've been. Light is inside of you, and God made it especially for you, and that's for you to give to the world. Well, I started realizing that and believing in myself, and some of the things that helped me was I was around my good friend Kanye West. Y'all know Kanye, he has no problem believing in himself. Well, at the time we were working on an album. He was about to release his College Dropout album, which was his first album. And we were working on my album, B. And, you know, I already started my process of really starting to believe in myself and embracing that and being confident, not being afraid to wear my greatness. And when I was around Kanye, it was like, we would do listening sessions. And listening sessions are when you play your music for the journalists and for different people in the media. And during the listening sessions, Kanye would hop up on the table and rap his songs and be sweating and spitting on people and stuff. but he would do it passionately. And it was songs that he was rapping that I didn't even like before, but because he rapping so hard and believing in it so much, I started believing in it. Belief is contagious. Belief is contagious. When you believe in yourself that much, other people take heed, other people absorb it and recognize it and see it. Well, I started to believe in myself. So as we continued to work on B and we finished it, when I had my listening sessions, no, I didn't hop up on the table, I did it my way, but I started telling the journalists, this is a classic album. This album is a classic right here. And I rapped my songs because I loved them and I felt it. And that was the first album that I ever released that when it came out, it was recognized as a classic album. And that belief started to continue to matriculate, to keep going forward and moving forward in a way that I started believing in myself even when I was going on auditions, because I started my pursuit of my acting career, and I started believing in myself more. I got my first call back. Next, I got my first movie, which was Smoking Aces. And thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. And that belief really started to resonate. Things just started happening for me. It was 2005, and as we said, 2005, I loved that year because I started to believe in myself in a new way. And that belief translated my album B into becoming a 5 Grammy-nominated album. 5 Grammy-nominated album. So I was, thank you. Well, as you know, I was overwhelmed by that. I mean, when I got the call that I had 5 Grammy nominations, I was finishing up some of the scenes from Smoking Aces, and I was sitting there like, this belief thing really works. This thing works. So I'm on my first trip. I'm believing in my path all the way. I'm on my first trip to Australia, and we have a day off. So I'm walking on the beach with my assistant at the time and one of my friends who was also a videographer that I work with. And I'm figuring out, hey, I got 5 Grammy nominations. I need to get together at least 3 speeches. I could freestyle the other 2, but I get together at least 3. So I got together a good 2.5 speeches, and I said, okay, I get the rest done. Good ideas for speeches that I was, out of these 5 Grammy nominations, I had my speeches ready. So fast forward, it's Grammy night. I'm in my cream suit, got on my Kango. Kanye is with his mom. It's the first time my mom has ever come to an award show ever that I've been a part of. John Legend is with his mom. Good Music is in the building. Well, before we get to the Grammys, they announced 2 of my awards, and I didn't get those 2. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. 3 awards, 3 speeches, I'm good. So we sit in our seats, and John receives a couple of awards, and Kanye receives a couple, and then they announced 2 more of my categories, and I didn't get those either. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to put all this speech into one thing, they're gonna turn it. So they come out to announce the best rap album of the year. And Kanye turns around to me and says, you're gonna get this one, man. You got this. And I was like, yeah, this is serendipitous because Ludacris, who has been like an advocate for me as a hip hop artist and always said publicly that he's somebody that he really loved my music and really respected me. So I was like, that's cool, this is all working out. And I sat in my seat and Ludacris was, as he opened the envelope, was like, man, this is my man right here. This man truly deserves it. I mean, a smile came on his face. And he said, I want y'all to give it up. So I rose up out of my seat. Give it up for Kanye West. So I'm standing there. And you gotta do that fake smile. Not that I'm not happy for my guy. But of course, I'm disappointed I didn't get any Grammys out of 5. And I believe. Well, that night everybody is enjoying, you know, we had the Grammy family party for good music and everybody holding their Grammys. And I mean, I had my mom with me, but I still But, you know, the next morning, I remember getting on the phone with Kanye, and one thing we talked about was, let's go get it next year. Let's go get it next year. And even though I believed at that time that I was going to get it, it didn't happen for me right then and there. And that's what I say, you find your path, you believe in your path, but you have to live it. Now, living your path means that everything that you have prepared and believe in may not happen right when you think it's going to happen. It may not happen right at that moment. And I use these Grammys as just an analogy, as an example of certain things that you may want in life or need in life that you've been working hard for, but it might not be there yet. But if you really do believe in it, then you have to live it, and you have to experience the struggles that it takes to get there. You heard Frederick Douglass say, without struggle, there's no progress. So the progress comes through the struggle. And it's going to be struggles for anything that you want that's worth it. There will be struggles, there will be obstacles. But I always say, you have to turn these obstacles into possibles. Right now, many of us may be sitting here going through economic difficulties, health issues, family issues, self-doubt. These are things that we all experience as human beings. And you have to live through these things to grow, to become a better human being, to build character. There will always be challenges, no matter how rich you get, no matter how popular you become, no matter how many people you know in high places, there will always be challenges. But these are the things that make you a stronger human being. I take a scripture from James, and I know we're not in church, but you know, I'm gonna take you there. This is a scripture that I like to refer to sometimes when I'm going through difficulties, and it deals with perseverance. It says, "Consider it pure joy." This is James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers," and I like to add in sisters, "whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Not lacking anything. You know, when you want to achieve greatness, that means you're not lacking anything. You've got to a level where you can handle anything. You've accomplished so many things, and you're going to continue to grow and accomplish these things. Just recently, well, actually a couple of years ago, but it still resonates with me. My cousin, who I really, love dearly, and was my best friend, really, who I talked about, who I wrote my first rap with. Well, my cousin Ajale, he died in a motorcycle accident 2 years ago. And these are the challenges that you face that sometimes you're like, where did this come from? I don't even know what to do. What's the lesson in this? And though I wasn't getting true lessons that I knew right then and there, I started really to examine what Ajale was about. And as people would come up and speak about Ajale, they reinforced how free of a human being he was, how courageous, how he was willing to try things and he enjoyed life. And it sparked me to know that I better enjoy my life. And that was if anything I got out of it, I could gain the fact that he lived his life to the fullest and enjoyed his life. Through death, through health issues, through economic issues, it's a lesson to gain. It's something, a lesson, and you have to look at the lesson and understand that there's something in there for you to gain. Well, I looked at Ajale and was like, man, this guy was enjoying his life. I mean, this guy would go snowboarding, skiing, zip lining, and this is a black dude.